What's going on, folks? I'm Automatic. We're gonna talk about this V-Trigger 2 from Zeku, but it's I'm in a weird position here because people want my insight. I don't know nothing yet. But the best I can do is find the Capcom community blog and see what the words they have. And there's some footage that people recorded of the V-Trigger. Although it's hard to deduce a lot from it, we can get maybe some ideas. And the trailer from Capcom themselves. So without further ado, according to the Capcom community blog, we got Zeku Karura Tenzan. Both old and young Zeku share the same V-Trigger, Karura Tenzan. Upon activation, Zeku moves forward with a launcher kick. If it connects, Zeku will switch identities and continue attacking. It has priority against all non-grounded strike attacks. That means anti-air only, I think. Making it highly functional as a counter-attack. So I think it's saying you can use it as anti-air. Use the directional buttons to determine what side Zeku will land on after the additional attacks, allowing him to switch sides with his opponent. So that's like his V-skill, where you can hold the direction at which you want to teleport, and then you can reposition yourself. So if you're in the corner and you land this V-Trigger, or I guess optimally if somebody jumps at you while you're in the corner, you can use this V-Trigger and then switch sides to both anti-air them and then use that V-Trigger again. Alright, so let's look at some footage. Let's see what we got here. Here is the trailer. We got it in slow-mo. We got some slow-mo action. That is Ryu. Okay. Boom. Alright. He does light kick Teki. Light kick Koku. And then Karura. What was it? Karura Tenzan. And now look at this. Boom. Look closely. It doesn't hit above his head. Can you see it? It's like my head is in the way. Now look at this. See exactly where it hits. It does not hit over here. It hits over here. That's not a bad thing. That's okay. But it's not like Ken's Shoryu go upwards in the air directly. And that's one of the problems that Zeku has in the anti-airing capacity. Just in general, directly anti-airing above you is what the issue is for Zeku. So it doesn't quite solve that problem, but if it does have invincibility, there is some benefits to that. Because now, instead of doing the hard kick bond, which is 7 frames of startup and requires a directional input, which is going to contribute to the startup of you actually performing the move, now you just hit hard kick and hard punch, and then you have access to an anti-air, which is invincible. So I'm a little bit curious about the angles. Will it be effective in anti-airing? How effective it will be? What is the startup? And I mean, let's just see what happens when it actually completes too. So I imagine this phase right here, this is where you choose which side you will want to be on. Am I still in the way? Right here is where you can choose left or right. Unfortunately, during this, it doesn't show you what would happen if you. What is the knockdown property? Can you actually have something of value as far as when they get off the ground? And you can see at least they're still spinning, and young Zeku is already on his way down. He's landing. So that tells me you might have some room for interesting knockdown. And if you think about it, since you can do this off of a light kick Teki and the light kick Koku, as you see here earlier, if you don't do this V-Trigger, normally this knockdown is somewhat mediocre. I know the light kick Koku, when you hit them on the ground, it's only +1 when you dash at them. But if now you're changing the knockdown property by using the V-Trigger, you're canceling off it, and you're giving yourself additional amounts of damage. So you might be able to get a better damaging combo and a better knockdown situation should this present itself. So I'm interested in seeing that. Now the other footage I found was from a Thewan Martins YouTube channel. Check it out. There's 2 cases. Unfortunately, this footage is also kind of hard to make fair deductions and beat up the weight. Did I already go through it? I think I've already seen it. There it is. Okay. Now this is old transitioning to young Zeku. And we see the same thing. And there is, I think, old Zeku. Okay. It's pretty cool. Look, he's already on the ground. It's very important to determine what the knockdown is for after this. Because also we can look at the damage. The damage wasn't that impressive either. That's definitely less than you would get with just the raw activation, medium punch, medium kick, hard kick, ender for V-Trigger 1. So that already tells me that there's less utility in that department. because now you can't use it to activate off of something like standing medium kick and then have advantage on block. You're committed to doing this, so you're also losing the benefit of that, and you're losing more damage. But if this knockdown is pretty good, maybe we can salvage some kind of meaning off it. And look at that. Well, actually, there's no recovery here from the... Well, maybe there is. What I also want to know, is this a hard knockdown? That could be a game changer in itself. If the opponent doesn't have the option to choose between normal or back recovery, and then in that case, maybe it's classified like critical arts are. But we just don't know yet. It's possible that that whoever is playing this part just didn't get off the ground. They're just kind of observing. And I think later in this video we see the other end of it. He's comboing. He's like linking the Koku. I think he did EX Koku, right? EX Koku. Yeah. Medium kick, medium punch, EX Koku, and then using it as a combo ender. And the damage is not impressive at all. Maybe you can't see it. I think at this point you're probably better off doing a hard kick. Now, this is the reverse. This is ending with young Zeku. Wow, that's unfortunate. You can't see the damage in this video. But you can see that you are close to them when you knock them down. So what I really want to know is if they back recover and you dash up, are you in range and what advantage do you have? Because I also think about, when you're an old Zeku, if you have enough advantage off of the knockdown. So you would start up with young Zeku, which there's some things to say about that as well. Because young Zeku doesn't have a lot of, his anti-airs they're not bad at all, but you have to be very situational. But if you're as young Zeku and then you go into old Zeku, can you do the Bushin flip and meaty them in interesting ways? So if you can set up something powerful, if it is a hard knockdown, which I doubt it is, then maybe you can do some interesting things with the Bushin flip in ways that'll hit them left or right, meaty grab with the quotation marks, that kind of thing. So there's tons of things to speculate about, but you know, I just don't know until I have it in my lab. It's like the things that I could see being useful for is to contribute for your lack of invincible anti-airs with young Zeku. You do have the upper body invincible light punch Ozanto, but judging the angle is hard, and it's slow, and it requires a directional input. So the V-trigger may enhance your anti-airing capabilities in that department. So I would think about using this specifically against Zangief, especially online. Zangief can be very tough to anti-air when he's up close to you in the first place because you're so concerned with reacting to things that are close to you. Just like a roundhouse that whips, you're trying to punish it, he grabs you. And then you're looking for that, and then he jumps in this, medium kick. So now I can have the option of using the V-trigger to anti-air him with young Zeku. That would be helpful. So it really depends on those things. Is the knockdown going to be worth it? And is it going to really, like, in a valuable way, enhance his ability to anti-air you? So I'm skeptical. I don't think it's going to be better than V-Trigger 1. I think in some matchups it might be okay. But as of right now, I'm not impressed. But we just don't know until we put it under a microscope, right? Is there anything else? Anything else? Oh, yeah. The Capcom Unity blog implies that it's not invincible. It's only upper body invincible by saying the non-grounded strike attacks. Am I reading that right? Non-grounded, which is the air, it has priority against non-grounded strike attacks. Yeah, I think it's only an anti-air. You cannot use it on wake up is what I'm thinking. And I thought that would have been a unique property if that were possible. So, yeah, that's about it. I hope you learned something. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Like and subscribe. I'm automatic.